Hi guys, welcome to class. In this session we're going to be looking at business English. We're going to be talking about doing business in different cultures and what we must consider. For example, if we are going to another country on a business trip or whatever, and how we should deal with things, okay? So cultural differences, things like this. It's not just for people, maybe business people, it's also useful just to talk about and to compare different cultures, okay? So, Michael, how are you? You're still okay, good. Are you okay?
Yeah, I see you changed a little bit topics last week or two. I mean, you have had
Yeah.
Different topics a week ago.
A little bit.
Till that week. You chose the right topics.
Do you like? Yeah. So I thought I bared you in mind. I considered you because you're in every class. Yeah. So if other students come to every class, then also they may have.
No, but you said that you have some on Facebook, some suggestions on Facebook you have about tongue twisters, and they do not come to class.
Yeah, that's okay. That's the thing. So
they do not come, but they recommend, and you
because they watch, right? So they watch and take notes. Right. Okay.
Take notes, about tongue twisters.
About Peter Piper. All right. Okay. So Kiwan is back. Good. So Kiwan, are you interested in being some kind of jet-setting international businessman where you travel the world and you make lots of money?
No, I like to work from home and I'm okay like that. I don't like luxuries. Okay. No, I would like to, of course.
Okay, you'd like to. Michael, would you like to?
Sorry, would you like what?
Would you like to be an international businessman with your private jet going to different countries all the time?
Not so much, because this is not effective. It's not with private, efficient with private jet. So if
the money you spend on the private jet, you could use for yourself.
And if I would be international businessman, as you said, I would travel with regular planes. But I know that CEO of Google or co-founder of Google, they have a private jet, and they have or they want to have a private where jet are landing. What is that? Airport. Yeah.
What? A
private airport. They have or they want. They give a solicit when you to government ask about that. What is that?
They got a permission or they got approval?
They give a solicitation for that permission.
Yeah, approval. They've given their approval. They approve their plans. Wow, so they're going to have their own private airfield. And we would say airport is more like a big one with the commercial jets and stuff, but an airfield is the airfield is really like a smaller one.
But for sure they have a private jet, and the managers of Google, they travel all around the world with this private plane. I read about that.
Okay, because they've probably got a lot of money. Huan, would you like to go by private jet?
Yeah.
You would like to? I think, okay, that's interesting. Okay, but yeah, okay, so it's expensive. If you have billions and billions of dollars, then the money's going to just sit in the bank, or you could use it, right? So, John, have you got any particular countries which you'd like to do business in, or you'd like to travel to?
Sorry, but speaking about the poverty, about all kind of that things, if you relate to that, this situation about private jet, it's a lot of money to first to use this private jet. I mean, to maintain. Yeah, to maintain.
Yeah.
Cost a lot of money to check before the. So with this kind of technical moments cost a lot of money, and the fuel costs a lot of money. So with this money, you can help your country. For example, it's real because it's a lot of money. But when you go with not private jet, with regular jet, you pay only for ticket. Yeah, it's okay. So speaking about that, who love to speak about the poverty in countries?
Okay, so you could say maintenance costs with private jets are sky high. Yeah, you see what I did there. You see what I did with that. Okay, so sky high just means very, very high. Yeah, really extraordinarily high. So maintenance costs are sky high.
Because why I say that in my country we used to our prime minister or our president he once or twice went to our country with private jet, yeah. And our press spoke about that all week because why he chose private jet, he could go with regular. It's a waste of money. With they calculated how much money costs only with to rent that private jet because it's and how much costs this what path. I mean, when you go to one country and come.
The flight, just the flight, or
yeah, how much costs all expenses on this private jet, and they spoke about all week about that. So where that money could be spent instead to.
And it depends. So some take a private jet, maybe if they're going to some unusual place, and it's I don't know if there's a really top business guy who gets so much money per hour, per day, or something. Then it's probably not so much. To take, or maybe a fish and whatever. But I just searched for sale. I don't know how much they cost, but they must be huge. I don't know if you could be a millionaire and have one, or you have to be a billionaire. Yeah, Christ, look at this. $15 million just for a jet. Okay, these are cheaper, yeah, but still, you think 1.5 plus you've got to fuel it, you've got to maintain it. Yeah, okay, better to go with Ryanair. For me, I think Ryanair is a good alternative, or the most possible alternative. But anyway, okay, Juan, are there any countries which you'd most like to visit and do business in?
Yes. In the United States, I would go to New York and to LA. In Europe, I would like to do business as well as to get to know the city in London. Also, I would go to Spain and Germany, Switzerland.
You've already got planned the itinerary, right?
I will go also to Moldova, Turkey, and to Russia, and pick up all my Berlin classmates.
So, Mike, you're invited. We'll see if he protests when he gets an invite to jump on your private jet. We'll see if he goes, oh no, I can't go by private jet. Yeah, so this is against my morals. Okay, but anyway, Juan, you've already got your itinerary sorted. What do you?
Now that I said it, because I'm really in the past I want to know how big is or how much business is done in London.
How much business? So do you mean international business or just generally?
Yeah, no. For the big guys in real world, do they use a lot of to host meetings and summits in London or?
Yeah, I think there are, but I don't know specific ones and things like this. But I think London hosts quite a few big meetings. Certainly, if you fly from London and stuff, you can see private jets. Yeah, you can see quite a few. But I think that's the same everywhere. Yeah. So in the main airports, you can see the private jets and stuff. But I don't know specific meetings. But certainly lots of there's business people. You can see helicopters flying and landing on skyscrapers and stuff like this occasionally. But yeah, but I don't know as to specific events. But also political things and stuff. But that's not so interesting. Like when people come to London, yeah, the Queen does all this kind of stuff. Yeah, we have this.
Yeah, I was just remembering. Well, it was in London, but I don't know if you guys are a fan of the Batman movies, but in the Dark Knight.
Not too much. Not too much.
Do you remember in the Dark Knight when Bruce Wayne went to Bangkok? I think it was Bangkok or.
Yeah, I think it was
mega city to meet with a big businessman that he literally just said, "Okay, I'll grab the jet and go there."
Done, yeah. So it's like the James Bond effect as well. I like this kind of stuff. It's cool. Okay, so
Speaking about the jets,
yeah.
Google's three top executives have eight private jets, and they built this place for their jets.
They've already built it. Can you show us pictures?
Yeah, here is I put in the chat
Yeah, I
information
was
about
reading
it.
it. That's why
So they
they're
don't have
really
one; they have several between them.
Eight.
So that's more than two each.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but those
almost.
guys are millionaires who
Yeah,
have
but
a taste
still,
for collecting jets.
yeah, but why do you need three? Yeah, unless one breaks down, that makes sense. But three, that's almost three each. I would get just one big one, yeah, or one really good one with a swimming pool or something inside. Yeah, don't spend the money on three. But I don't know. Yeah, wow. Okay, so these, of course, they're something else. But where would you like to do business, Michael, internationally? Have you got any cities or countries which you'd really like to go to, in your suit and your briefcase?
I don't know where is the situation would be good. I mean, where I could find the customers for my business.
Yeah. So you think more of the business head, not like, yeah, I really want to go to this place, yeah, and to make some kind of unnecessary business trip. Because now maybe people just don't need to go to the countries because they've got video conferencing, yeah, Skype and stuff like this.
Yeah, of course. Now, I mean, if you have an international company, you can work with your employers all around the world with Skype, Google, and also your employers can be work from the home.
Yeah,
Also,
and
as
it's
far as I
more.
know, I mean, in big businesses I know that employers work from the United States.
Okay, so the thing is that that's so now we've got the internet and stuff. We just don't need to travel, which is a shame for those who, got into their job because they wanted to do the traveling and stuff. But anyway, Juan, what would you say? What are the advantages and disadvantages? I've got this question prepared of a multinational company adapting its management methods to the local culture in each country in which it operates. So, how many multinational companies are in Costa Rica? Do you see lots of them?
Oh yeah, there are a lot, and also the majority of places where I have worked as an employee are multinationals.
Hmm.
I'm very familiar with this from not a managerial side, but as an employee or in the managing the technical stuff.
Yeah.
And it's I think for the big guys it's a task that involves a lot of planning and also headaches when deploying it, because since every culture is different, let's say a North American company comes here, like it happens a lot, and they are used to their business model and way of working of their employees from the U.S. And if they go and just deploy it, because I assume that would be cheaper, not to invest in all the research and changing all the processes. Well, not all, but in this case, like example, we have a very bad habit, which the Ticos, that's how you call the people from Costa Rica.
The what? How do you say?
Ticos.
Ticos. Okay, Ticos. By the way, I forgot to tell you, I have a friend in Costa Rica right now. She
really?
she's studying Spanish. She's gone for maybe a couple of months to Costa Rica to learn Spanish. I just remembered, yeah. So it's think about that. She went maybe yesterday or the day before.
Do you know where?
No, I didn't ask, but I can ask. Yeah, I'm going to Skype her later maybe, but I think she went later or yesterday or the day before, really soon, just to learn Spanish and stuff like that with a school and things like this. It's cool. So maybe she's in your city. I don't know.
No, yeah. The question is because nearby my home, and I also have some friends that own language schools for
Cool.
foreign students. So there's one very near my mom's house,
Drop the
and
name because I know
also
lots of people who study Spanish who want to go
yeah.
somewhere. So drop the name. I could just say, yeah, I know someone.
Okay, yeah, I'll put it on the chat because from at this moment I cannot recall it. I have
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries.
to
Just search for us.
yeah. And this very bad habit that I try to avoid as much as I can is that, for example, people it's called the Tico hour.
Yeah.
That meaning that if we are told to be at work, at a meeting, or even a leisure event,
Yeah.
like a party or whatever, at 5, you'll get there at 9 or 8.
Okay, so these kind of cultural things that maybe are acceptable in one culture, you cannot just transfer that immediately to another culture.
Yeah, and I've seen that many international companies, and I gave them the reason not because I have worked with them,
Yeah.
but because it's something of a very what's the word in English? Well, something rational, something of common sense. Common
Yeah.
sense. That if you are told to be at your desk or wherever at 5 or 5:05,
Yeah.
it is something that is assumed. Okay, because in a business, any kind of business, every minute is worth money,
Yeah, yeah. So we say
and
time is money. Yeah, time is money.
also they have and people think that in that that means that only money for the company and it's just about their earnings
Yeah.
in money, but that isn't only the case because for example, there's a lot of planning. A lot of large companies have a department that just that focus or the main job is to plan the schedules ahead from weeks, months, and according to that schedule, they'll be able to pay you your vacations, your benefits, give you permissions, special permissions, and also production and coordinate with the hours at other branch in other parts of the world.
Sure.
So 1 minute, well, 1 minute in any like different time because of a reasonable thing, it's okay. But if you sum up all those minutes from different employees in just one shift, that means a lot of problems and trouble. So I think that is like a good example of this kind of problems that they face.
Sure. Okay. And the thing is that I don't know if this happens, but also with managers. Yeah. So for example, if it's a German company sending a German manager to Costa Rica, for example, to manage the company without speaking your language, or if it's a British company sending a British guy to manage the company in that thing, and just literally trying to make a clone of the company in a new market. Have you ever heard of things like this? I was talking with a private student from Slovakia, and he was saying his boss is from South Korea, but doesn't speak the local language, and to talk with his workers he has to have a translator all the time, an interpreter, and they're saying that they just run it exactly the same as in their home country, but of course it's different. Yeah, so the working conditions are different, you know, how people work is different in style, and it's maybe not so effective. Michael, what do you say about this? So do you think it's okay just to send managers from the country of the business to a new country?
Yeah, because here we have some multinational, international companies, and for example, I can give us Orange. Yeah, do you know?
Yeah.
So France Telecom. with name
Is it
Orange.
still called Orange in your country?
Brand, yeah. The company, yeah.
They changed it maybe last year in the UK to EE. So Orange merged with another company, T-Mobile, and they created EE, which is like the worst name in the world for a telecom. It's like every time, everywhere, or everywhere, every time, or something. A really stupid name. But anyway, sorry. But then Orange was also quite stupid.
This is in our country. In our country, this is very, I don't know, very popular brand, but not because of name, yeah, but because of historical, advance. I mean, I will explain, and you will say what it's good. So they work from the beginning when we started to use cell phones, and they have very good coverage of area.
Good network coverage, yeah.
Yeah. So what is that? When you have from other years some advantages, historical advantages.
Yeah, historical advantages, or yeah, I would say historical advantages. I can't think of anything else.
They have historical advantages, let's say, in this way, and not because of name Orange, yeah, it's popular, but because of good coverage and many customers they have. So their manager used to be from France, and he couldn't speak in past.
He couldn't speak. Yeah, he couldn't.
Yeah,
speak.
he couldn't speak any local language from our country. He only spoke. He speaks. So he speaks only English, I think, and France, something like that. But he was the general, let's say, the person who looks after this company in this country.
Yeah.
So people from our country who works in that company, they spoke with him in his language, in English.
Okay, so and this is the thing. So I don't know if it's, but I find it a bit strange that the boss cannot communicate directly with the workers. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, so what do you say? Alice has just joined us. How are you?
Hi, thanks. I'm fine. Good morning.
Good morning. You're probably just thinking, what are they talking about?
No, I was listening, and I heard how you said about that Korean company here in Slovakia, and I think you were talking about whether it's good or not to imply the same rules in the company. Of the company in another country.
To run the company, exactly. So this manager goes from his own country runs it. For example, okay, say British, yeah. So we run it in London like that. We go to your country, then suddenly, or vice versa, you come to UK, start a business, and then you run it exactly like you expect the same things from your workers as in your own country. Yeah.
Yeah,
so what do you think?
See. I think it depends also from which country the company is, because, for example, English, French, or these companies, they have a different culture, but and I think they run companies in a bit different way than it is here, but it's not so different. While if we compare it with, for example, that Korean company which you were talking about, it is totally different, and because I think it's because the culture in those countries is totally different, and we are not used to it. For example, I know, and yes, I know that managers do not speak Slovak or even maybe English. I don't know exactly, but they don't speak Slovak. So yes, they have to have a translator. But it's not the worst thing. The worst thing is that, for example, employees had to learn the rules which employer expects, the behavior
Yeah.
which is expected from employees, but we are not like that. For example, you cannot look directly into the eyes of the person from that country. If you talk with him, if you do it, it's considered like, at least this I was said, it's considered as a bad behavior of an employee. So everyone has to learn how to behave according to the different culture, which is not typical for us, and it's quite difficult for employees, you know.
And it's crazy the fact that you feel as a worker in your own country, you feel like a foreigner, yeah, and you feel uncomfortable working, and that's why I find it quite shocking. But what do you do though? So if you had a big Slovakian company and you wanted to expand your business internationally abroad, would you want to hire Slovak managers, or would you happily hire local managers, maybe with a deeper understanding of the local culture?
I think I would try to find out how similar companies works in that country. What is typical for that country? I mean, as for company culture, behavior, or everything in the company. And then, yes, I would prefer to have a Slovak manager there who would speak, because if I wanted to run a company in another countries, it wouldn't be an idea which I would start from one day to another day. I would have to make I would have to prepare it during some time. So I would try to I would select a person who would go there, and yes, I would send him to the English language school to learn the native language, and I would surely maybe I would imply some Slovak rules in the company, but I would especially apply, yes, but I would especially try to run it the way it works in the country where it would be.
Yeah, and the thing is though, what if, for example, the processes in the original country are just better? So, for example, Japanese process, if they came to the UK, their processes are too good compared, maybe, yeah. So the efficiency, things like this, and maybe we're just not efficient compared with maybe Japanese or Germans. I'm not sure, yeah. So maybe we're more similar to Germans than someone like Japanese. But I don't know if Toyota opened. In fact, they did this, yeah. So I think Nissan, we've got a factory in Sunderland, yeah, a Japanese factory. The problem is we work differently, yeah. So maybe we're not so efficient. Michael, what do you say? Yeah, Alice.
No, it's just that what is, but yes, efficient, not efficient. So, sorry, Michael. I just want to say one thing.
Yeah, go for it.
For example, in those Korean companies here, people are really, I don't work there, but I know many people, and they really complain. They have no time to go even on a toilet because they just cannot. And if they go, they are fired immediately because it is so high unemployment here that the company
you should be grateful for a job. Yeah.
Yes, they just give a job to a new person. So there were lots of complaints about these companies, and they promised they would change some things, but nothing has changed. Nothing has changed.
Okay.
And I don't. Yes, of course, it's more efficient if people don't only work. They don't have time to relax, but one day they will become tired, so they will not be able to work, so they will have to leave the job. But if some company doesn't care, then I don't know, it's not a good approach towards their employers.
Yeah.
I mean,
The thing is,
they
they
should.
talk about the burnout. So,
Yeah.
if you work all the time, eventually, you'll have to collapse and stuff. But if you balance it well, you can be more for the long term. Maybe it's better. But yeah, there are different ways of doing things. Yeah, certainly, maybe with the working hours, the amount people work in different countries and stuff. But yeah, okay, that's interesting. My next question is, what about countries bordering you? Do you think the Slovak management style is the same as, for example, the management style in Poland, Austria, or Czech Republic? So do you think your neighbor, and I'm going to ask the same to the rest of you, is the management style the same? I don't know what, for example, our neighboring country, maybe France. Yeah, I don't know how they manage their companies compared with British, but just give us an idea of the kind of management style in your country, in your countries. What's it usually like? What are the conditions like? So maybe I'll get Alice, I'll give you a break, we'll come back to you. But Juan, what do you say in Costa Rica? What's the management style like?
Well, there are, I think sometimes there are problems with communication from the low departments to the higher rank or your bosses.
Yeah.
And also sometimes, yes, there are many companies that may take advantage of low employment opportunities. So they will maybe not pay you as much as you deserve for the kind of job you do. So basically, that's like the way of working here. You are asked to have a lot of experience, even though if you're young and just graduated from university. A lot of references, a lot of the skills, mostly in the private sector. However, in the private sector, you will get the more money and benefits in bonuses and opportunities to grow. But also in the government, if you are lucky enough or have good friends there already, you will have a really nice time at your desk, because you will have this how do you say, like a long term contract.
Okay, so yeah, it depends. So if you're thinking short term or long term, whatever. But in your country, you're saying then, are workers respected? So would you say the power is with the bosses or with the workers? So is it like a hierarchical point of view where I'm the boss, you are the worker, do what I say?
Well, it depends on how you see it. For example, they all respect, and they must, because the law won't permit them, your maximum work hours, your minimum wage, and paying your social benefits. However, there have been a lot of scandals from a lot of companies, local and also international, that they owe a lot of money to we have something that is called La Caja, which is the entity that provides medical care to any citizen in my country who works, even for the
like
ones
the
who
health
don't.
service. Yeah, so we have the NHS. It'll be like this, the health service.
We have a very good health service, and sadly, it is very corrupted, because as far as I know, in other countries, health is very expensive because
Healthcare, yeah.
healthcare, yeah, because there are no, it is not centralized. You have to pay for insurance. Is it correct?
Um, so it depends. I mean, in the UK it's different. Where I think we have a different system, but
Hmm.
in most countries I think you have to pay insurance. I don't know. Yeah. So Alice, do you have to pay medical insurance? In Slovakia, do you have to pay medical
Uh,
insurance?
it is paid. I mean, yes, from the salary. Some part of the salary, some percentage
Yeah.
goes for this. Yeah.
Okay, so that's cool. But yeah, you have the system. So in UK we
Yes,
have. Yeah.
but it is. I think it's also some part is paid by employer and another part by employee.
Okay,
But
so it's
it's
split. The cost of
yeah,
share.
yeah.
So we have a system. They're saying it's not so efficient because everyone gets free healthcare regardless of how much money they earn. If they earn no salary, they could still get free healthcare, and that also
Oh,
applies to
sorry,
people
sorry.
in the UK. Yeah,
Yeah,
even if they're
yes,
foreigners. Yeah.
we have free healthcare. If in case you want to have extra services, you have to pay.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, they're saying in the UK because even tourists, I think, can get healthcare for free in the UK. I think if they get injured, I think that's so. Yeah, I've heard about this, but I think
Yes,
they're
Oh,
it
changing
is.
it.
here you can also. Oh, sorry, Alison.
Yeah, go for it. Go on.
No, here, tourists, and not even only tourists.
Yeah.
People who how do you call in the correct way, not to insult people who are not
Foreigners.
legal in
You
the
can say,
foreign,
illegal immigrants. Yeah.
illegally, even people who are illegal, maybe because there are a lot of persons that really come here for opportunities,
Yeah.
and they do work. Others not that much, and they take advantage of that our constitution. No, the constitution. Well, I don't know, local law or constitution or a mix of both. Give them the right, and the medical center has the obligation to attend them for free. So
So they
you will
abuse
be
the
billed.
system. Yeah,
You
they
will be
abuse the
billed.
system.
But if you have no money and you're dying, they won't let you die. They will give you the same treatment with the same dignity and quality as if you were a citizen here.
Okay,
So
so
that's
then of course when you have such a system, people will take advantage of this, right?
yeah.
They will.
Sadly, many people do that, and not only foreigners, also people. So that's what happens with those companies. They don't pay, but but their employees don't have the guilt. They're not because they do deduct that percentage of the salary, same as in Alice's country.
Wait, so they deduct it, but they don't pay for the insurance. So they take the
Yeah, yeah.
employers get the money.
The company doesn't pay, and even though they don't pay, and the legal consequences, because they rely that the legal consequences are very long trials and a lot of time frames
Yeah.
to deal with it. Even that happens, you are not denied medical attention.
Okay, which I think is fair. Yeah, so that's good. But of course, people can abuse the system and stuff. Okay, so anyway, what would you say, Michael, about the management style in your country? Is it kind of like a flat structure or hierarchical? So boss looks down on the worker, or are they more like a team? Yeah, so a nice, happy family. What would you say? And of course, it depends on the company, maybe.
Yes, of course, it depends on the company. I mean, that in most companies, I think, is a style where boss looks down, and every manager looks down on his employees or what
Employees, yeah, or subordinates, you could say.
subordinates. Yeah. So, but exist companies where like they are at the same level. Maybe they speak at the same level.
Okay.
But usually in big companies, they kind of arrogant people.
Okay, so usually I'm the boss. You look at me, I can drive my Mercedes or whatever. Okay, so that's interesting. The worst company where I worked for was a friend from school who fired me without notice. Ah, that's too bad. They say you should never do any business or do anything like this with friends.
Yeah.
And you don't think it's true this would happen, but yeah, this is an example. Is that legal? So if he fired you without notice, is that okay?
No, well, in this case, it was not that illegal. However, I could have done something there because I work as a professional services. No, I wasn't on the because supposedly we were friends. I wasn't on the payroll. So
Okay,
I
yeah, so
just
it's
billed.
cash in hand.
I gave him the how do you invoice.
You gave them the invoice. Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you pay tax on it? Maybe
Yeah,
online. Did you pay
no,
tax?
I do pay my taxes.
No,
I
no.
had to
For
pay.
this job,
Mhm.
because we say cash in hand is when you do maybe something for a friend, but it's unofficial, and you just get the payment in your pocket.
No. This
Okay.
this this was official, but in these cases it's a little bit more difficult to, in general,
Yeah.
To get. It's expensive to go to trial and all that stuff. So
And
I would lose more money than.
then you would get, or it's too much of a risk. Okay. So Xuan, what about your neighboring countries? Which are the closest countries to Costa Rica? Which are the neighboring countries?
Neighboring countries on the north is Nicaragua, and on the south, Panama.
Panama, okay. And would you say the culture of these countries are fairly similar? And do you think it would be the same to work for one of these companies compared with a Costa Rican company?
Well, I'm not sure about working in Nicaragua because it appears it's like the opposite. In Nicaragua, there are not many job opportunities for citizens
Mm.
because there are a lot of corruption there too. So they migrate here
Yeah.
to look for work. In Panama, I sincerely cannot give an opinion because I have no knowledge of how they work. So I would be just speculating.
Okay, so you don't know, but would you? There's probably no difference then in terms of apart from the corruption, but in terms of the management style, you could happily work for one of these companies in one of these countries. Yeah? It wouldn't be like you're so shocked by how it is.
Mm. In these ones, in Nicaragua or Panama?
In the one that you know about, so the first one that I can say.
uh, the one I
You said
wrote
Panama you don't
about.
know about,
Uh-huh.
but the one that you
Yeah.
do know about, you're saying apart from the corruption, it would be it's okay to work in it. You wouldn't feel out of place.
No, I would. Well, I have to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm not aware that any major um, company
Hmm.
from Nicaragua has offices here. I would. So if I say that it would be comfortable, I would be lying. Not because I hate uh, or not like people from Nicaragua. It's
Hmm.
just because I have
No.
zero idea of how they work.
Okay.
If you, the only experience I have is with North American people.
And do you see a difference there then? So when you're dealing with North American maybe managers or whatever, is there a difference, or do you think it's the same? Do you see it as pretty much similar?
There's a difference, but not that big.
Hmm.
And in general, they're pretty good, pretty nice. I have a good concept. They have the discipline of, uh, of of how I think a private company should
Yeah.
work. And I have to be honest. I haven't had any bad experiences with managers from
Has anyone
US.
had any bad experience? So, Michael, you said you've well, maybe you phone like Skype people and stuff from abroad from different companies and stuff. I think you said before. I'm not sure if I misunderstood. Have you had any bad experiences with dealing with people from different countries because maybe of a culture clash? Do you know what this is? A culture clash.
What do you mean bad experience?
So you clashed because you have different cultures maybe with someone. You've clashed, yeah. You don't understand why they're saying this to you, or they don't understand why you're talking like that to them. Have you ever had a
Yes.
culture clash?
In my job, I work only with English-speaking people. I mean, as foreigners, as foreigners. With English I spoke with people from UK and United States.
Yeah.
So they're kind of the same thinking as me. I mean, nothing different. So when we speak, I don't have culture clash with them. It's okay. They understand jokes. If I joke in my way, they understand my joke.
But that's the thing. That's the kind of thing I was alluding to. Is the fact that if you just make a joke and someone misunderstands, even if it's funny in your culture, but maybe it doesn't translate well or something like this. Yeah. But Alice, have you ever had a bad experience? Not maybe to do with business, but generally maybe speaking with a foreigner. Have you ever had some kind of awkward situation?
I worked in a few companies.
Yeah.
Some of them are only Slovakian. Some of them they were sorry. Two of them were international, and I found out that it depends on each company and on people with who you are working, because for example, in one company there were people from they were talking only in English. We were speaking in English all the time, and I had to get on well
Yeah.
with them, and I found out that I get on well with English-speaking people than with Slovak.
Okay, that's interesting.
But it was only in one company. But in the other one, yes, it was I think. Yes, in company where we were supposed to speak English most of the time, and it was a bit difficult because it was a very big company, so it was quite it was not so friendly environment. And what was the question? Sorry.
So have you ever had a clash, a culture clash? So you're saying that you found it to be quite friendly, and you actually said there was a clash only with your own culture.
Not really, not really, because if people understand that you are from different countries, and maybe your culture is different, and then also jokes are different sometimes, and if you realize it and if the other person realizes it, then there is no problem if something like that happens. But in case, yeah.
But then this links to the language then. So if you understand the culture, maybe it helps to understand the language. In this sense that if, for example, a Slovakian company came to, I don't know, went to Moldova, didn't speak Moldovan or Romanian or whatever, or Russian, then is it then do they really understand the mentality of a Moldovan?
I have no idea, because I don't know any person from that country, so I don't know.
But that's the thing. So if you were looking at a map, yeah, and you just think, right, okay, we need to expand it in any country, this one, okay? No one knows anything about the people of this country because maybe it's a new culture or whatever. They haven't learned about it. And they just say, right, I'm going to move my business to this country because it looks good and because it's in a good location. Do you need to really research the culture, or do you think actually it's just business, get on with it and make the money?
No, I personally, I would really research the culture. I would do it because I would like to, how to say this? I would like to, it's not good to have a company which an environment in the company is totally different from the culture of people, the way they are. For example, when I was in England for some time, I studied there for some time, and I also worked there. It was nothing special. I worked there only in one coffee shop just to get some money, and my boss was from Morocco. And I was thinking I would never, it's quite difficult. It's totally different culture, but he understood the difference between their culture and European culture, and he was treating us really, really well. I must say he was the best boss. On the
Where
other
was this?
hand,
Sorry again. Where was it?
it was in London.
In London, yeah. So in London, and that's
Yes.
probably so also in London because there's lots of people from different countries that maybe people, are more accepting and more understanding of different cultures. But
Maybe,
not always.
but on the other hand, there were people from Morocco in the same shop working with me as my colleagues, and I just couldn't get on well with them because it was just impossible. I don't want to offend anyone, so I think I shouldn't talk more about it. I just want to say that boss, I think he got the idea why he should behave the way why he should. Oh, help me, Martin.
Yeah. So
why he should.
He learnt to adapt, yeah. He learnt to adapt his management.
Yes,
So he was more
exactly. So employees were really happy there. And for example, if I had some problem with somebody, with my colleague, he always kept asking each of us, "Are you happy to work with this?" Because with this person, because we were working in couples, and
in pairs, we say, yeah, to
in
work
pairs.
in pairs.
Yes, sorry, in pairs. And yes, I used to say from the beginning, yes, even thought I had problem with with some people, but I wasn't sure about his reaction. But that problem grew and grew up, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. So finally, I told him, no, it's just impossible to work with that person. And he told me, why didn't you tell me this at the beginning? Everyone was complaining about him.
Yeah.
I knew the way he was, and I was so surprised and I was so released. And so he made pairs of people who got on well together.
Yep.
So he was really caring about everything, not only about getting money, but also
motivating the staff, yeah, and building up some kind of team atmosphere.
Yes.
And how did you find it working? So you've had experience working in London. I guess you had lots of customers from different countries and things like this. How did you find it being in this environment? Because I think the best way to speak about people or to see people is in somewhere like a coffee shop or a shop. Because you get loads of different customers. Have you ever had culture shock with any of your customers? Where they just spoke to you in a rude way, like "give me this," or something maybe that's acceptable in one culture that's not acceptable in another culture. It happened with me when I worked in a shop in the UK. Sometimes I was like, "Oh yeah," so maybe people speaking too directly or speaking a different way. But of course, not intending to be rude, but it may come across as this. So did you ever experience something like that? Or maybe people being too polite, yeah?
Oh, no, actually, I found out that people were really polite and they didn't complain about anything. Yes, sometimes they came and they just said directly, sorry, but this is not the kind of coffee I wanted.
Yeah.
I wanted a different flavor. For example, the one I had yesterday, but I had no idea what flavor of the coffee the person had yesterday because I wasn't working that day. So we were trying and trying, and I was making maybe 10 coffees with different flavors. But they were really.
Did you work for Costa Coffee by any
really
chance?
nice. No.
Not Costa. Okay, because the same friend I was talking to Juan about, who's gone to Costa Rica, worked in a coffee shop, Costa Coffee. I shouldn't name maybe the brand or whatever. But she didn't learn, they didn't train her how to make one of the coffees. And it's one of these kind of iced coffees. And every time a customer ordered it, she'd just make it up. Yeah, and she'd just put loads of random stuff in. And so I was just wondering if you had any experience with this. But anyway, that's cool. So,
oh yeah, yes. Once, yes, you are right. Once there was one guy, and he was asking for cappuccino,
Yeah.
and I knew he came with his girlfriend, and I knew that his girlfriend he liked lots of what is the name of that of the top one? What do you put on cappuccino? It's like it's made from milk.
Cream or no, not cream.
Yes,
It's
but
froth.
it's not cream.
Froth. Sorry.
No,
Yes.
it's the milk. It's
Yeah.
no, not the milk. It's
It's
But I
made
can't say
from
it.
milk,
Froth.
but it's not milk.
We say the froth.
What?
Yeah,
Froth.
it's difficult.
Froth?
Froth is like this milky, but like
the one that is made with the spray or
yeah. It's like this
the-
milky stuff. Yeah.
But it was not
always
made,
gets around there. Yeah.
yeah, but it was not made from spray. It was made by there is a way how to make it from milk, so you get that froth. And I knew that his girlfriend she liked only a little bit of coffee and then full cup of froth.
Yeah.
And one day they came together, and he asked for cappuccino, and she asked for another. I don't know what she asked. I think cafe latte. And I made the same cappuccino like I used to make for her.
Yeah.
And he said, "What is this? There is no
Oh.
coffee.
Oh, it's too bad.
There is just froth. This is not coffee."
Yeah.
But I understood that it's because she liked it that way. I shouldn't suspect he would like it the same way.
Oh, but you did it for him as well.
Yes,
you-
of course,
okay.
because I was thinking that because
They're the same, yeah.
she
So-
liked yes.
no, but
But,
that was rude from him.
but yes, but I
The
didn't take it
customer's
in a bad
always
way.
right, Juan. Yeah. So, but it's not true. It's not true. They say that, but it's not true. Okay, so that's interesting. So and this is the thing. So
Yes,
you get to know
and
the customers.
actually- Yes, and actually she was really nice. She just said that she told me, "Oh, don't worry about him. He's like this all the time. I will have this cappuccino and you please make something else for him."
We call this banter. So this happens a lot. So you're bantering with the workers. Usually you do this. So well, maybe not so in London because London's too fast and stuff, but certainly in the smaller towns, it happened with me when I worked in the shop. The customers make jokes with you and make you seem like you've done a bad job, and they say something like, "Oh yeah, only kidding," yeah, or they say something like they make a complaint, but then they're not being serious, but you think they're being serious, and it's some kind of sarcasm thing. Yeah, I don't know if you experienced this, Alice, but
Oh,
maybe not in
Martin.
London.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
I don't want to talk for a long time,
Yeah,
but
but
may I add
Yes,
one
please.
more thing?
Go for it.
That coffee shop, it was very close to the train station.
Yeah.
And some customers, they used to come, especially boys, and they were asking me, are you able to make a coffee within 30 seconds? Because in 30 seconds, my train is leaving.
Yeah.
And I said, of course, what
Yeah.
coffee would you like?
And they don't in London, they don't care about being on time as long as they get their morning coffee, and then it's okay. That's cool. Guys, take care. I've got to go now, but really interesting speaking with you, and speak to you later, hopefully. Okay, so cheers. Bye.
Bye, Martin.
Bye.